Hello, guys and gals who wants to improve themselves. It's Mindset Arc podcast. It's host Dim, episode 41. Let's get to it. Today I want to talk about my gym journey, also my diet journey, and what I can point out from it. What did I learn that can be useful for you? So, we're going back. Let's go back 5 years. I wasn't liking gym at all. I thought it was superficial. I thought working on something in me was really superficial. I thought that doing these things, I didn't have any self-improvement concepts in me at all. For the record, it's only 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I think, I moved cities and my self-improvement journey has started. At least I started thinking in ways that I can improve myself. Before that, I was totally on the in the hands of destiny or something like that. And I thought that I had this strange arrogance when I thought people should, or if anyone will like me, it would be like I am right now. But the obvious reason was I wasn't really good at that time. I wasn't liking myself. I People weren't really liking me. I looked really awful at that time, let's be frank. And I had this adversity to anything. Like I still wasn't fat. I still was kinda I wouldn't say in shape. I was skinny fat, but I always had the problem with eating the opposite direction, that I couldn't eat enough. And that showed on me as well. I was always small, I was not feeling any presence in me at all. I was somewhere unnoticeable on the fringes of everyone's side. Or I think I thought about myself in that way, and I took pride in that. I took some strange pride in that, some strange ego boost that I will be unique. But then I was moving cities. It was after my first relationship ended, and I decided that I realized that I don't, something needs to change. Something hit me with the realization that I cannot go like that anymore. I need to change something. And that's where I found the red pill, and it was kinda toxic, but it still taught me a lot. And one of the concepts that I got from there was, like, you're a guy, you should lift a lot of weights. And that's where I first started thinking about it. But of course, as with all, I wasn't really actionable back then. I was reading a lot of stuff, I was researching a lot of stuff, but I was afraid to fail. And so for the 2 years after that, all of the ideas that I had were not executed. So that is the backstory. Let's skip to the first time I actually went to the gym. I actually had the idea of finally starting to go there. When I was in the middle of my second relationship, it was the middle of a COVID, this awesome thing that just suspended everyone to the houses. And somehow in this environment, I get the idea that I really want to work on myself, on my physique. But of course, the gyms were closed. So I waited for a couple of months. Surprisingly, the desire didn't go anywhere, and I actually followed through with it. And I was so afraid of the gyms. I was so afraid of the concepts. That's why I actually didn't go there for 2 years. I didn't know what the gyms looked like inside. It seemed like some really strange, scary, terrifying, absolutely terrifying thing. I thought there will be a lot of like buff people who will just go around and they see me and they will kick me out or do something like that. Completely irrational fears because people in the gym usually really receptive, surprisingly, contrary to popular belief, or at least I guess I've been lucky with that. Yeah, so I was really terrified. I was really terrified, but the idea still stuck with me. I asked my then girlfriend to go with me and to support me in this gym journey. I found some gym nearby of my house. Not really nearby, but it was, I think, 15-20 minute walk from it. And it was kinda cool. So I went in, signed up. They did some tests on me to verify my current state. Yeah, the usual stuff because they want the client. It was one of these fancy gyms that would try really hard to get you to subscribe to them. So they had a trainer, a coach already there, and they got me through everything, and it was kind of exciting. It wasn't that as scary as I thought it would. It was actually kind of cool. And I already had some support there. I already had this coach that were willing to show me some stuff there because, yeah, of course, I never was inside of a gym. I saw that in shows, in movies, but it looked entirely different. It didn't look like anything that I thought it would. But I was excited, and I had the person that wanted to show it to me. So fast forward a couple of weeks, I trained with this coach, and she showed me almost every machine and all of this stuff that was there. So I was getting kind of, and I went by myself a couple of times as well. And I was excited still. I was really excited, and I went there, I think, 3 times a week at the start. And for the first couple of months, so I have the charts, I have the body, they had this body composition test that was like really fancy as well. It's called InBody. Probably a lot of people have it. Here in Serbia, they have it as well. And so yeah, they measured me at my first day. It was August. It was basically the end of August 2020. And the next time I was measured in December of 2020, in the end of December. So 4 months passed. I feel like I think I was still really excited, and I had these private sessions with my coach. So I was going at least once a week and 2 other days by myself, and my excitement got me through. It wasn't as hard at the start. I still didn't know almost anything I was doing there, but I was doing something. I still was on a beginner's routine. I don't think I had the routine at that moment. I still fucked around a lot. But nevertheless, with all that in mind, I I have these results here. In 4 months, I gained 2 fucking kilograms of muscle, and yeah, and that's just insane amount. I feel like I've been at that moment, for the context, like we could aim even at the start or at the more intermediary levels for about, how much is it? Like about probably 200 grams of weight gain in a week. So in a month it would have been like maybe 1 kilo or something. But because of the beginners, at the beginner stage, everything is just completely different. Your body can, because I never had a lot of physical pressure before. In my student years, I worked a little bit, a couple of days by uh, surprisingly hauling really heavy things, like these big bottles of water from one side of the field to another, something like that, like strange gigs, summertime, like part jobs. And I was surprisingly okay with them, but looking back at this chart, I didn't have this muscle structure at all, and that allowed me to just gain immensely in the first couple of months. So this a lot of progress happened. For the context, I was weighing like 59 kilos. How much is it in pounds for people who don't understand kilograms? It's like 130 pounds, I think. So I was for my even for my height, it is really low. It is really low. But almost I had 16% of body fat and I had no muscle at all. Like I had really small amount. And in the 4 months after that, I just went. Oh, okay, let's fast forward. Just the spoiler, what it looks like after 2.5 years right now. And or okay, not now, like 2 years after that. Fast forward to half a year ago. I was when I went on my cut, when I am losing weight to get to lowest body fat percentage. I did it for photos, for making photos, and then I started gaining again. But I was weighing exactly the same amount as I was weighing at the start, so about 60 kilos, about 130 pounds. But I had literally 4 kilograms more muscles. And from the 16% of body fat, I went to 8% at that time. And it was the 2 years, but all of this progress basically happened. Half of it happened in the first 4 months, and half of it happened in the last half a year because I fucked around in the middle, so I didn't gain a lot. Okay, but it is a little bit of spoiler. Let's talk about all of this stuff that I wanted to talk about my mindset about this. So, of course, after seeing these gains, and at that time, at that beginning stage, I didn't understand yet how much I gained. I thought I wasn't making progress at that time. I literally thought I need to go but to do better. I did some strange things like eating. I thought I wasn't eating enough calories. I wanted to gain weight much more, and so I was eating like big these scoops of additional weight gainer that in one scoop had like a lot of calories, and I put so much of them. So, and for the record, it's not how you gain weight if you want to gain muscle. Almost all of that will go to fat, which actually happened for a half a year that I was doing this. And also what happened, because I was using this, it's like basically powder that you combine with water or milk and drink. and it's really thick. But because it's so much processed and so many calories at once, I literally couldn't properly digest it, and so I had a lot of stomach problems at that time, and it wasn't really pleasant. But as I said, like when we start something new, there is a period when we just don't understand anything, when we just fuck around, and that is okay. Now looking back at this time, it was required for me to understand a lot of things. But as with any new goal, I think I experienced all of this. I think we all experienced something like that every time. This initial excitement period fades and the pain comes in. And I'm not talking about physical pain, though it was there as well. It's more about the mental pain. It's more about being consistent and keeping up when the motivation fades off, when the excitement is not there anymore. And that was the hardest part. And I actually quit. I actually quit there, so I went there for half a year. I started in August. I went there to about April next year, and I already started skipping some sessions. I was skipping like 1 or 2 sessions a week, and then I think I almost completely quit. I could take, okay, I didn't completely quit, but I could literally skip weeks of training. I could literally not go to the gym for a couple of weeks. I think the most I did not go was 2 months in the middle of 2021. And yeah, I was literally just fucking around. But still, I got some experience with that. I still was going on there sometimes. But that was the period when I hated gym. I started hating it. And I didn't hate the gym itself. That will be one of the first points that I want to make about any of the goals that you want to work on, and it's hard. I could say it was hard for me to go to the gym and train, but it wasn't. Being in a gym and training, that was the hardest part. It was the 20-minute walk there. And especially when it's the beginning of the year, I was still in Russia at that point, and we had really cold periods. And I was fucking hating it. I don't like going to the gym at the evening. I didn't like it then, I don't like it now because there is usually a lot of people there, and I'm not the evening gym person. I have a lot of energy in the morning. But to wake up, like go to the shower, prepare yourself, and then go outside of the house, outside of the warm bed into this cold environment. Go 20 minutes through the street. Go there and to like, change your clothes and go to the gym. And when I was actually in the gym, I was feeling good. I liked it. It was already exciting. But every time I was waking up and I had to force myself to do all of these preparations before the gym. And I hated it. I didn't hate the gym, but I hated the process of going to the gym. And of course, that stopped me from actually going there. And that actually caused me to fuck around a lot. And so, my first point here is when you have something that is already draining to do, that is already hard to do, and you feel like it is you almost quitting or you even quitting for some periods of time, and you feel like it's really hard for you to keep up, you don't have the motivation, you just don't really like to even think about this thing, and just take a step back and split it onto stages. What are you actually doing on this goal? So for my gym, it was waking up, preparing myself, the walk there, workout, walk back. and like post-workout eating and all. And everything after the moment I got and started my workout, the walk back was amazing always, even in cold environment. I was already like pumped up, I was already feeling good. I liked it always. Like eating after it, it's amazing. But all of this period of preparation at the start, it was not really good. I didn't really look forward to that. So, and I have again a spoiler of how I handle this now. Now I don't have 20-minute walk to my gym like that I have here in Serbia. I have about 10 or 15-minute walk. Still have to walk a lot, and the climate here is better, much better, so I don't have to go out of the house in minus 20 degrees Celsius and freeze my ass off completely while I go there. But I still had some struggles here when it was already cold, and I don't like dressing up for cold. I don't feel comfortable in this clothes, and I don't think I look good in this clothes because I have to wear up coat, a lot of layers, the the beanie cap, and like just a lot of stuff that just protect me from wind and cold. We had a lot of cold weeks here when I had to push through that. What? And I had a lot of thoughts like I don't want to get out of the house today. I just don't. But what helped me here is to negotiate with myself. I literally allowed myself to kind of detach from the outside, so I had to go like these 10-15 minutes. But I fully embraced this. I gotta keep myself warm no matter what. And I didn't feel. I At the start I felt bad about wearing all of these clothes that I needed to, and sometimes I skipped that and I was miserable because I was freezing, shivering all the time that I went there, and I kinda hated it. But then I embraced them, like I will do everything I can for my comfort, so just I will reduce these uncomfortable periods to the minimum. What is my goal here? It's not to train my resilience, it's not to look good while I'm going to the gym. It's good if I can manage it, but that's not the primary goal. My primary goal is to work out. And to work out, I need to get my ass off to the gym somehow, in any way. And so, using the clothes and just warming myself up was a good decision. And it helped me. It just switched my mindset through from like, oh, I feel bad just getting out of my house in this awfully looking clothes to something like, okay, I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm here for a workout and that's it. So if you have some of these goals, just break it down to some steps and see if you can optimize some steps that are not really important. Maybe this commute, this getting there to any of your hobbies can be optimized. Maybe you will get a cab and spend some more money on that from time to time, but you will feel more comfortable. You will not feel resentment about just the process of getting there and being uncomfortable all the way. Maybe it is preparing the things that you have to haul with yourself. Maybe it's finding some place that is closer to you. If you don't need to go somewhere, if it's some maybe work tasks that you need to work on or your business tasks, maybe that will be cutting away distractions or setting up the environment when you don't have these distractions, or getting yourself rewards. Yeah, that's the opposite thing. You can optimize some not really good things about this goal, about working on this goal. And the other thing, you can reward yourself for it. For me, the reward was my meal after the gym and walking back. And I focused on that as well. And I focused a lot about how I actually enjoyed the gym itself. So yeah, that was it. That was my period of yeah, well, going back at that time, at the mid-year of 2021, yeah, I kind of fucked around there. I still kept it up. That's why I say if the goal is in your mind, if you not, you can have the periods when you don't work on it. But if the idea that you want to achieve, if you never quit that idea, if you never get it out of your mind, it's not even like an obsession. It's just something that you really want in your life and you not want to let it go. You want to have it at some point. You thinking about it from time to time. You keeping it alive in your mind. That's why I think it's the most important thing. That is basically not quitting your goal altogether. And that means eventually you will achieve it because eventually you will decide, oh, fuck it, I want to work on it actually. Or you will get into some better environment when it's gonna be easy. Or you find some people that allow you to do that easier. Or you will just be more okay with downsides and you will handle them better. A lot of stuff can happen, but as long as you keep your goal, your dream alive in your head, eventually you will reach it. Because we all have unlimited time. I will talk about that some more later. Yeah, eventually you will reach your goal just by doing the baby steps, keeping this in your head and never quitting. Yeah, that's the first point I wanted to make. So how did I actually went from the hating it, that was the period of hating it, to actually loving it to bits, because now it is my lifestyle. I cannot imagine my life without the gym, without the workouts. Even on my days off, I still want to go there because it gives me a lot of energy. And that's basically the answer here is easy. I found a way to enjoy it. I focused on the bits of this thing. Even on diet, okay, let's. I could probably imagine how a lot of you would think that gym is, yeah, you can enjoy it. It gives you a lot. For I think for a lot of people, it gives a lot of energy when they exercise, and you start feeling better. When you start noticing the results in another motivation, and of course, it becomes a lifestyle. But the second thing, it requires a diet as well. It requires good diet, especially if you want to build muscle or to control your weight or you want to lose fat and be lean and basically look the best you can. It requires diet as well, in one way or another. And I hated diet at the start as well, because it's really inconvenient to track calories, to just look at all of this stuff. And for the until the start of 2022, so for 2 first years, I didn't track my calories at all. I tried it a couple of times. I didn't like it, and I didn't focus on diet at all, and that's why I didn't have a lot of progress. I had it at the start, at the first 4 months, in spite of my diet, because I just had my body just went from not having exercised at all ever to exercising regularly for a couple of days a week. Of course, it builds something at the start. That's the beginner gains. But then the progress was stalling because I wasn't focusing on diet and I actually didn't like it at all. But at the start of this year, with the initial boost of motivation, that I knew that I have to handle my diet now, I started tracking my calories completely, fully. I was obsessed about it. And that went through a couple of months. I was still obsessed with it. Then I had to move countries. And when I was living in Armenia, in eating at restaurants, it's not a really good. It's You just cannot track calories properly. You just don't know what they put in meals. But I was still trying to hang out to that, but I lost the motivation at this time. But what was already happening before in this first couple of months when I had motivation, when I was going all in on it, when I was obsessing with it, I found that it's kind of fun. I thought about it like some game. It wasn't the my like I need to track my calories. It wasn't like that. I started thinking about it like I have this goal for each day. I have this calorie amount. What can I do to hit it? What can I eat now? What can I not eat now to schedule it for the evening? So right before I go to sleep, I have like protein bar, a kiwi fruit, and maybe cottage cheese because I liked these things. I bought a lot of protein bars that were adding to my diet because they were fucking delicious. Like if you never tried protein bars, there are some disgusting ones out there, but don't roll them out. They're fucking desserts. Some of them are just better than some desserts. Just maybe that's just me, my obsession talking, but I love protein bars. Okay, quick tangent there. So, yeah, and by optimizing my diet to the point that I found a lot of ways that I can enjoy it. That was the tipping point. And even after I lost my motivation, I still felt it's kind of fun to track these things, to look back at like, oh, what I was eating the week prior, or how does it affect my weight? That's what I was getting later. So I'm gonna show you something here. If you are on a podcast, if you are on listening to this on the audio, I will try to just explain. But basically, this is the thing I created over a couple of months. So this is a table of me tracking my weight, tracking my measurements. I had the scales that were tracking my body fat percentage. It's not really accurate, but it only needs to be relative. Like it doesn't need to be fully accurate. If I use the same scales for all this time, I can get something out of it. It still matters. It still means something. And over the time, I at the start only tracked. So for the people listening on audio, I have this huge table that started in the May of the 2022, and it keeps going until now, and I track every week what was the average weight, my body fat percentage, and the changes that were happening. Yeah, the calories that I've eaten and the weight that was the change with the previous week of the weight. And I had some goals. When I was losing weight, I was aiming at about half a kilo, I think, lost every week. And when I'm gaining weight right now, I aim for about 300 grams, 0.3 kilos every week. But yeah, but week to week, it doesn't really matter. Um, what I ended up adding over time is the average amount. So I've added a lot of stuff here. For people listening to audio, it's like if you cannot go here, you're missing out because that is the insane thing that I created over a couple of months. I didn't create it immediately, but I just was adding and adding and adding formulas on there, and it's colorful and it's amazing, and I love this thing to bits. And I don't even need to put much effort here. I literally spend like 5 minutes, 1 minute each day to just fill up everyday measurements, and 5 minutes each week to put them all here, and it automatically calculates everything. So basically I created this thing to just track my progress, my changes over the last months. That was probably what I'm using for the measurement, because week to week you can have some weeks when you gain weight if you want to lose it. If you're on the deficit calories, you can still gain weight, and then you can lose like insane amount immediately, because your body just, the weight is not only fat, but it's also water, it's also poop, it's muscles as well, and it's just a lot of other stuff that it's in our body. Maybe that's just unprocessed food that's sitting in your stomach. So it can change. You need to look, you need to take measurements every day, but then uh, creating an average of the week, and then you're using average of like three or 4 weeks to actually measure your progress. So that table was exactly for that purpose. And yeah, it's quite fun. So I was, I'm not trying to brag. Okay, I want to brag with this thing because I'm really fucking proud of this thing that I created. Again, if you're listening to audio, just turn on 30, 36 fucking minutes. I'm talking for 36 minutes. That is the longest one yet. So turn on at 36 minutes and just look at this beauty. Just look at this. Like, it's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna stop joking myself off here. So this thing that I showed up, I was that is my enjoyment. That's how I started enjoying the process of tracking my diet. I don't like the constraints. I never liked them in my entire life. But when I switched from looking at the diet like it's something that constrains me, and I looked at it as a game. I have this goal. What can I do to hit this goal? To have this goal that I want? And how will it affect me over time? And it was so fun to just see all of these changes, because uh, let me tell you, after doing it for a year, this table doesn't include my previous. I started at the start of the last year, so I literally was doing it for a year and 2 months already, for 3 months even, year and 3 months. Yeah, and to see how you can actually manipulate, like if you change your calories, your weight changes over time. And you know so much about your body, how it works, and it is so exciting to see this thing. So that's why even now, when I'm much less strict with that, I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not counting every calorie I can be a little bit loose, because I understand that it doesn't really matter to be that strict at the start. I was at the start like tracking every 10 calories. I tried to do that. I was obsessed with being as accurate as possible. And after all this time, I just understand that it doesn't really matter. It is just, but I still learned how to control it, how to just steer it in the direction that I want to, with the speed that I want to. So I aligned it to have exactly 300 grams per week gained right now, because I want that. When I was losing weight, I aligned it exactly to lose half a kilo a week, because I wanted it. And it is totally possible. And after just by doing something, you realize the potential, you realize how you can actually work with it. You have so much experience that it becomes enjoyable. It is fun to do something that you really know how to do, and that the thing that gives you results. And that's up to you to set up the results that you want to do. If that's your business goal, if that's any of your hobbies, maybe you're practicing music or something, don't aim at the top of the mountain. I'm not aiming to gain 10 kilograms of muscles in the first year. It's not possible. I could set up this goal and I would have failed and I would have quit. And I just, okay, it's not a good example, but I mean, to even something realistic, even something really realistic, but I would have needed to be perfect at that at the start. So for the first year, I wanted to gain like, I would have wanted to gain like, for example, how much can I gain there? Mm, maybe like 5 kilos of muscle. That is like possible, probably, maybe 4 or 5. It is possible. But when I started this diet thing a year ago, I didn't know how to do that. I just didn't. And I hated it a little bit still. I didn't know how to enjoy it yet. So that would have been a really unrealistic expectation. And I would have blamed myself for not hitting the expectation and I would have quit. What I did instead, I just found some intermediate goals, some smaller goals. My goal was to not even to lose weight at that time or to gain weight, to gain muscle and all. My goal was to get to know myself. I literally did this diet thing this first year for me understanding myself and how I can control my weight. I gained, I have had a lot of, I had some results. Talking for 40 minutes straight gets a toll on my ability to pronounce everything. Okay. So I didn't do that for the results, physical results. I did it for knowing myself better. And that was my realistic goal. And now when I know, when I have this table, I have this beautiful table that I showed up, and I know a lot of stuff. I know a lot of stuff about the about dieting and how my body works, how I can control all of that, what I can handle, what I cannot handle. Now I can set up realistic goals. Now I can set up goals that are really strict. That for 3 months I will gain this exact amount of weight, and then I will lose that exact amount of weight, and I can do that because I know myself now. I know how my body works. And that is my point with every goal. At the start you don't know what you're doing, so be excited about learning new stuff. And then when you actually will feel that you know what you're doing, then you can set realistic expectations of results. If you do them at the start, you can get lucky and stay with it. You can get these results and it can be useful to motivation, but it's a gamble. You may as well fail because you don't know anything, and that may cause you to maybe not quit if you're still thinking about your goal, like I told you before, but you will just stall your progress for a while, and it's more efficient way to get some more realistic or more measured expectations and finding something that you can actually enjoy and focusing on enjoyment at the start is really important. That's the same thing that happened with me at the gym, so I didn't focus on result. Yep, excuse me. I really should stop talking already. 43 minutes. Fuck's sake. Um, so yeah, with the gym, it's happened exactly like that as well. I just I just found something to enjoy. I found my enjoyment is was in finding a way I could do that consistently. Now I exercise 5 days a week. Before that, I was having a schedule when I exercised 4 days a week. And just creating these schedules, creating these workouts, finding a ways how I can go there better, how I can optimize my workout. And that was already my kind of almost intermediate stage after 2 years of kind of fucking around, but still I got a lot out of it. And at the start, when I switched from when I was still hating going there, my enjoyment that was still keeping me going there at least once couple of weeks on average was that I did only the exercises that I enjoyed. I didn't force myself to do anything that I didn't like. I built my workouts so I could enjoy them. I probably didn't have a lot of progress because of that. That doesn't matter. I have progress now, 2 years later, when I learned how to enjoy it at all times. And now I can do some workouts when I don't like half of the exercises. Well, I don't hate them, but I don't really like them, but I still learned how to shape them to make them a little bit likable and to still add at the start something that I really look forward to do each workout. And that is my approach now. That's how I like it now. That's how I enjoy going to the gym. That's how I enjoy my workouts. I tried a lot of stuff. The stuff I didn't enjoy, I just replaced or dropped. But to make this my lifestyle, I had to find a way that I can enjoy it. And that's, I guess, the final point that I want to make. With any of these goals, even if you don't know that you will stick to it, treat it like your lifestyle. Even if your first couple of weeks, what would you do if you wanted to keep this up for your entire life until the end of your life? Any hobby that you're just starting, you want to find things that you can enjoy there. You won't be able to keep up anything if you will hate it. You won't be able to rely only on resolve or your just power. Sorry, that would have been really loud, I guess. Um, Hitting my microphone is not a really good idea here. So you cannot rely with these goals only on your strength of mind, of pushing yourself. That can work for a while. That can work for a maybe if you're really resilient, that can work for years with having constant breakdowns by still going there. But you will need to switch to this enjoyment thing eventually, or eventually you will just quit. It will stall your progress. You can get lucky with that, yeah. I will not say that it is impossible to operate on pressure, on negative pressure when you actually beat yourself up for not achieving something. It's not really actionable, it's not really productive, but you can use that. You can use it for maybe some people will use it for their whole lives and they will get some progress with that. But there is a better approach. There is a better approach when you just find something that you can like. You reframe working on your goal as enjoyable as possible for you. So you actually looking forward to the process and not to the result. Result is just a bonus. Make your goals enjoyable to work on them. And the self-improvement in general, it meant to be enjoyed. You get to be the best version of yourself. You get to go to the gym and work out and make your body better. You get to practice musical instrument and learn something like how you can play and be amazed by it. You can work on your business and that will be really fun to manage and it will keep you up. You can start your coaching and like help people and that will be really rewarding. Really, it will give back to you. You can focus on dating and you will have a lot of girls and guys so whenever to date and have a lot of fun with. All of this stuff, it's meant to be enjoyed. At the start, even when you operate from the point of, oh, I'm missing something, find some things that you can. I really should stop talking already. I just cannot pronounce everything. Anything. It just doesn't go to my mind. No, I'm gonna somewhere now. So, there can be periods when you just working because you're missing something, working from the state of desire, from state of grief. When you acutely aware of something that you really desire in your life and you think your life is not yet enjoyable if you don't have this particular thing. But just keep it in mind. Keep in mind, try to notice some things, how you can make it enjoyable. Maybe it's not possible to do at the start with some goals. I cannot do that still with talking to girls on the street. Just I am really terrified of that. And I tried to make it fun, but not for yet for a lot of times of practicing it. I couldn't find a way yet to make it fun for me. It's still a really terrifying thing for me to do. And that's because I get too vulnerable in there. It's still too painful to feel every rejection, every time, basically facing myself in the face of other person. They mirror back my fears to me, everything that I feel. And that is really, really hard. So it may take time. I know that it will take time with this for me as well, but eventually I will learn to enjoy it because I want this to be my lifestyle. So with any goal, try to approach it, try to ask yourself, how would I make it into my lifestyle? How would I keep it up till the rest of my days? And or at least like for 10, 20 years, however much you want to do that thing, that particular hobby or interest or whatever. Just ask yourself that and try to make it. Try to find some steps that you can approach, that you can take to make this thing into more enjoyable for yourself and sustainable for your life. And that's it. I'm gonna stop talking here because I literally cannot. My mind stops working, my mouth starts stop. You see what's happening here. If you watch a video, you can definitely see. If you're still listening to audio and you haven't looked at the table, just go here, even at these 52 minutes 40 seconds, because I show it up again because it's amazing. And like, look at this beauty that I created over the months. I'm gonna jerk myself off over that, I guess, like, a couple of seconds more. Look at this, amazing. Okay, stop swearing now. And yeah, I'm gonna go rest after that. I'm gonna take a lot of water that I needed to do half an hour ago. I'm gonna drop my Russian accent that awoken probably a couple of tense minutes ago when I stopped pronouncing everything correctly and just... I am so fucking tired. Talking for 53 minutes is a long time and I wanted to hit an hour mark at some point, but I guess that won't be today because I cannot imagine myself talking for 7 more minutes about some random stuff and I don't want to prolong it. So that's gonna be it. If you listen to all of this, I fucking congratulate you because I hope it was really enjoyable and useful for you. I don't remember my points at all. It was complete ramble. But yeah, I'm gonna end up here and I'm gonna say one last thing. If you hate your goals at the start, it's completely normal. I think I hated 80% of everything that I started at the start. Hated it, didn't like it. Eventually it became something that I started to enjoy because I found a ways to enjoy it. And it is possible to do with everything that you want. Even with most stressful things that you have to handle. So that is my out today. Improve yourself. Self-improvement is fun. It is a curse, but it's fun, and your life will be fun as well.